views on the responsibility sharing. Bruce, may I know your thoughts?
I think it's embedded in our previous experience. I think we need to have a clear high-level direction from the manager and know what company we are going to. Then I can define the objectives. So I think manager play a key role to initiate this activity to tell employee what's the big goal and what's the big picture we want to achieve.
That's why you put the responsibility on manager. Manager showed us greater responsibility to guide. I will not comment later on. It's the view there.
I personally agree with her thoughts that initially for you to establish a good objective setting, it will start from the manager. Although it is a shared responsibility, but I think the direction thereon will be from the manager so that employees will start to engage him or herself in finalizing it.
Yeah, you are saying engage individual. May I understand, is it the reason that you put just right side to Ruth?
Yeah.
Slightly right side. Lucy, individual.
Because individuals are in charge of the tasks,
Okay.
they should make it happen if manager required.
Thanks for sharing. So you think individual is actually owning their own objective to achieve the result.
And also linked to the big picture.
Good. Any other views want to share, Olive? Put it in the middle.
Yeah. The reason I put it in the middle, I think this is kind of joint responsibilities there, and the managers should in charge is setting the tools there, and like because this is need to be aligned from the top to down. So definitely the manager should take responsibility, but also need to get buy-in from the individuals there, because they are the ones, like Lucy mentioned, they are the ones to execute. So individual also need to give inputs and to agree on this one. That's the reason I put us in the middle.
I heard Olive you mention about manager, what manager need to do, as Robert and Ruth already shared, and individual. We also showed our own responsibility on achieving the goal. So putting here, Olive, on shared responsibility, it's technically right. Then when you mention that sometimes, what I will say is the responsibility is more or less moving along the journey when we set objective. Since when objective was just set, we firstly, of course, having manager set the direction, then individual agree, then manager support, then individual achieve. Sometimes it's moving during the process. So I would say, based on different stages, let's put here. Do you agree? So by mentioning moving the responsibility along the process, it leads us so well towards understanding or see the big picture of objective setting process. At this point of time, I will share interesting handout with you. It's so nicely designed in the envelope size, and there is a seal on the bottom. Please feel free to open it. You can take notes. So when you open it, we already see the objectives and the difficulties. The purpose of having objective setting and the difficulties that we just shared of us not making sufficient time or making right objectives. Then turn in the middle, you will see the setting objective. There are 3 broader stages. The first one, set a shared objective in order to align with our organization priority. A second step is to refine the objective. And third, it's never end, because once the objective is set, we need to further follow up to focus on execution. Like the leadership behavior, one of it is about focus on result. And one of our culture amplifier immerse about result. What is that? It's focus, it's teamwork, and simplicity. presentation. So focus stays first. So the follow-up is to ensure we actually deliver our result. So it's the three broader stages of setting objective. So now you are having your handout. Please feel free to write notes there. Before we end into the whole stages of objective setting, we need to understand that it starts from the year end, then year beginning, about linking our objective into the global organization priority. In our Maersk Line company, what is our priority? Usually, when does it come? The global priority.
It's January.
It's January time, yes. It's from Muslim battle, we call it.
It's a global leadership.
Muslim battle. Yes. And then starting always, we see from January, then it's time that we receive the objective from our function heads, cluster tops. Then it's our teams, then our individuals. So everything seems to start from the top. From the top. Here's the pyramid. The top one is the organization priority. It's actually set the direction of our objective and create shared understanding of what the whole company is going to achieve. And also, in order to make sure everyone understands that, we need to always consider our own connecting to the organizational priorities. I have a story experience. One day, actually, when I went to the ladies' room in a usual work day, it was a long queue. Then I just stood there and wait. And suddenly, there is a lady rushed in. I was curious why she was in such a hurry. I just asked her, why you are so worried? And she said, I cannot wait that long. I need to pick up the phone calls. I'm afraid I will miss the phone call from customers. I said, why? It's quite usual by a break. No, I cannot stand long because we are measured by phone pickup ratio. Then, why phone pickup ratio is important? Because phone pickup ratio is one of the items in our customer service charter. And the charter results will impact the customer service loyalty, customer loyalty survey. And customer loyalty will decide the volume we can get from the customer. And also Maersk Line's share of wallet in this customer's business. After I hear such a long sequence, I suddenly felt, wow, this lady, this customer service agent, was really big. She's making efforts every day to make our company making money, to win customers by picking up the call. So, guess what I did? I gave my way to the lady and let her go first, though I was also in a hurry. So it's a real experience. It happens every day, especially when during the peak seasons. I see this lady was really great, though I never know her before. I see her quite engaged, energized, and quite fulfilled by picking up phone call, by fulfill our customers' needs. Just like what I saw in the group who are with the right objective, Ruth and Robert, you are quite busy and concentrate, and you fulfill your own through a well-set objective and plan. So that's important that we have the objective correct and aligned with the organization priorities. Any questions so far? Any thoughts from your own life?
I mean,
Please.
I like the story
Yes.
because it's one way or another articulating a real life situation that can happen to everyone. But because I think that's what's lacking as well to some managers. For us, because you mentioned a while back in terms of our controlling idea, we need also to inspire people to come up with objectives that's achievable. And I think you were spot on in giving us a very good story that will enable the managers as well to appreciate that.
Thank you.
This is not just about having a good objective setting. This is about you taking part, and you can make it possible.
Yeah, making sense of what we are doing.
Excellent.
If I may add, we have to make sense of what the objectives are, because if all employees will just have a picture or have the clear vision of the big picture, then I think they would understand why do we need to have this set of objectives, and they would perform better.
I will congratulate the manager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good of him having this engaged employee.
Yes.
And we have to say, step back. We need to also learn from the manager, setting the good objective with the employee. And also, if the objective is quite fixed for individual, it's quite our responsibility as well to create a link, make the people understand what actually she's doing, she's contributing, right? Good. I like all this good sharing from the team. I'm glad that we take it back to our situation and we can just apply and change our certain mindset that we had before. And now I have a very exciting competition for the team. Hope you all like it.
Just like competition.
Competition, yeah, we are result focused. Let me explain the rule. Yeah, college competition must be with some rules, right? We will be divided into 2 groups. So again, don't worry about number; it will not impact the results. Every group will have a bunch of newspaper and tapes, shared scissors. This is all you have as a team. Then what we need to achieve is to build a tower tall and strong enough, in 3 minutes using the provided material. Everything clear? Yeah. I'll be very
How
cautious.
tall? Sorry. What's the measurement to identify if it's strong or tall?
Yeah, for tall is easy to compare. It's competition. For strong, we can put a pen on it, see whether it still stands.
Okay.
Then put a pen. We can at least put same thing on 2 towers. See who stands most firmly. Yeah. I'm always positive and open, but this time I will be very critical on time because 3 minutes. It's just 3 minutes. When I say hands up, then 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now because easy small team, can we have? Take your material. Let's go to the open area. Now I start to count the time. 3 minutes starts.
How do you And then I'll roll it, check, you paste it.
Tall and strong.
You put
3 minutes. Safety first. We put the scissors in the middle so people will share. Do you need scissors? Let's put in the middle to make sure we teamwork when doing the competition.
我们先帮我做一个 strong， 然后再在下面剪一剪，然后再弄一个 strong 插上去，对吧？可以了。你再绑。
more quick, I can do this whole.
How many minutes do we have? Just 1 minute. 1 minute and 20 seconds have. We have only half time left. Don't worry.
Focus on the folding up. Yes, focus on
Okay.
One more.
Tall and strong enough. I remind, it's kind of aligned. You can check out what your other side is doing, making sure they're really competing to each other.
We stick to this one, and we just strengthen the
But how
foundation.
if you want to put something, so how can we do it?
Last 40 seconds.
No, but you put something.
I will count down now. 10,
Doing this.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time out. Hands off. Time out. Hands up.
We're not doing anything.
We're done. Fair competition. What happened? It's your team definitely taller, but not strong. Robert, your team
Strong.
strong?
How strong?
That's now how
Super.
you
Super. So,
Yes, still standing.
good. Are you satisfied with the result? What did you achieve? Did you it's a tall tower?
there.
Sorry.
It's tall.
It's a tall tower. But you already.
The instruction is for it to be tall and firm. It's tall and it's firm.
Yeah. Why you are not making it taller?
because we want to be sure.
It's also
Because even when
In
you
fact, I
put something,
tried.
yeah, because the main objective is well, if you to measure it, you'll be placing something on top, right? So you want to be sure that the foundation is stronger than the top.
Yeah. What did you do now during the process?
We try to make
It's
it
definitely
strong.
tall.
Yeah, we try to make it strong, but failed.
Yeah. Because I'm so critical on time, my fault, but I have to be. If we are given more time, what will we do differently?
It will be tall.
Yeah, okay.
And still build on, right?
Yes.
One more.
Is this foundation strong enough?
Not yet actually sharing.
We are about to put something on tomorrow.
Yeah.
Is it strong to
Yes.
strengthen it and
Yes.
taller?
Yes.
What would you do differently? Yeah?
We can make it
Make it taller?
yeah, stronger.
I think we have
also-
some. I think we did not really. I mean, in terms of the foundation parts, and we may change our strategy instead of doing this way. We might think about.
And if I may share, as we observed while doing the assignment, our tasks were proper.
Yeah.
We're
It's
doing this,
divided.
doing this.
We have a task for person.
Per person.
Just
Did you
share
align before
Yes.
when you start? Oh, you
We have an
aligned.
assignment.
Good, good. It's a good demonstration on having execution in place, having plan before execute as well. Good. I have to congratulate all of us. We all did a good job. Also, I have to say, in my past experience, we seldom see people really made it. So we all did a good job, and someone is taller as well. So let's congratulate ourselves. We achieved it, at least one of the team, and you are very tall, and we can further build our
Picture,
Let's get back to our seat.
Let's have a group photo with all of us.
In that competition exercise, thank you, Robert. In that competition exercise, it's interesting that what the instruction is. It's a time, it's a height, and it's stress. So these are, if we give objective, these are actually the success criteria. When we give objective, we try to split. Like Robert, you asked me how to define tall. You are just specifying what does this success criteria mean. It's a very good question, very relevant, and also inspire others to in their further execution. And among these three,
we feel that time is not enough. If we are given more time, we can do better on the strengths and health. So when we think of looking at a falling tall tower, can we just get back to think of the story I just shared on Ford? They had the objective of making a car, and the $2,000 cost. So like what we gave the time, shorten the time. But actually they sacrificed the quality. So what actually happened to the tower we made? Quality was not good, though it was high and tall. So sometimes we need to be very cautious on selecting, compromising the objective items, the success criteria. Especially when we are given a very stretched objective. So sometimes we compromise, and even sometimes we neglect some of the success criteria. So that leads us to the second stage of objective setting. Refine our objective. Once the objective is kind of set, we then need to move on to being very mindful of selecting the criteria for success. What are they and how stretched they are means a lot of things to us as individuals if we put ourselves into the employee's shoes. People may feel stressed, stretched, challenged, or even strained. If we are not balancing this well, we will fail. And if we do, we make a real balanced scorecard for people, then people will succeed, right? Will feel quite energized, quite attainable, the target. So after all these successful criteria review, then we come to final refined objectives. And at the same time, we need to be very cautious, as we mentioned, not to set a target too stretched to the stand of strained. How can we tell it is either stretched or strained? How can we tell?
I think we have to assess where our employees are, the skills that they have, so that from there we could give them the right objectives that is within their capabilities.
Good. So we need to assess their reaction towards
Yes.
those objectives, and do something towards that to prevent a strained objective. So, like Cheryl just mentioned, we need to do something. Also, firstly, we need to differentiate two types of objectives. If it's too stretched, people may feel quite. If it's right stretched, people may feel quite engaged. They will think how to do it. They will make a plan, and also embrace the challenge. But once it's become too strained, people will give up. Like what we are doing on 20 objectives. At the end, when I say time up,